It is time, ladies and gentlemen. Let's pick up business when it comes to NFL draft season. Your Miami Dolphins have 3 first-round draft picks, 14 needs, according to Robbie the Degenerate. Robbie, are you ready to open up your draft room?
Woo! He didn't even say yes. He just turned on the music.
That's the way
Let's
you
go.
do it.
That's how
the way
you do it.
That's how you do it.
Yep.
Today's group, wide receivers.
Oh, this is a loaded
Yeah,
draft.
it was a loaded group.
Loaded draft.
So let's start off with the studs. Start off with Chase Claypool, wide receiver out of Notre Dame. 6'4", 238, ran a 4.42 and a 40-inch vertical leap. With his big body and the speed, going into the combine, people weren't sure if he was a tight end or a wide receiver, and then he just lit up the combine so bad, he made himself known as a wide receiver in this combine. Second, third round prospect, which what I like. I'm going to be honest with you, I have a little bias to the later round prospects. I generally don't like taking receivers high in the first round. Chase Claypool fits the brand, second, third round prospect. Played every game in the last 2 years. You don't have to worry about his health. 13 TDs last year. He did it in his junior and sophomore season.
That's not the tight end?
No, that's the wide receiver, bro.
Yikes.
What do you mean, yikes?
He's a big boy.
He's a biggin'. Robbie told you. But he lit up the combine.
Well, he'll be a tight end.
No, that's what everyone thought.
What you thought.
That's what everyone thought.
He's telling you that. Otherwise, he would have been in last week's episode.
Okay.
He did it his junior and sophomore seasons. He had shaky quarterback situation. That dude Winbush, not very good. He's one of these weird guys who loves blocking. He even tweets out about how much he loves blocking and how he loves to pancake these defensive ends.
Know why he likes blocking?
No, for the wide receiver spot, not as a tight end.
Wait, he weighs more than Vernon. What's his name? Vernon Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're calling it already Winpool or what the hell is his name? Claypool.
Chase Claypool.
Chase Claypool. You're already calling tight end on him.
Yep.
Who did that happen with? Didn't the Dolphins do that with not Clive Walford?
Ernest Wilford.
Ernest Wilford. Yeah, Ernest Wilford came from the Jaguars as a free agent. He was a wide receiver.
Yep.
And then after a year, they're like, hey, we're going to try you at tight end.
They refused to pay the best tight end that came out of here in a minute that went to Buffalo.
Oh, Charles Clay?
Yeah.
Yeah, Charles Clay was good.
Charles Clay was good. I'm like, how can you, evaluating talent, how can you not look at that guy and say, now that's a guy that can help us win?
You also must not. We almost must like this guy too, because Robbie, you have a history of hosing down Notre Dame players.
That is true. That Canes, when the Canes destroyed him in 2017.
Yeah, the last guy you did that to made All-Pro as a
Well, but not McGlinchey. McGlinchey got roasted in that game, and McGlinchey's had mixed results in his time there. But yeah, Quentin Nelson, he's been an All-Pro, but. You have to take Quentin Nelson top 6 overall. You're going to take a guard in the top 5, Leroy?
No.
That's what you would have had to do to get Quentin Nelson.
God, I hope that. There's part of me that does hope that happens, because I just feel like you would lose it.
You think I lost it over the baseball thing?
All right, Robbie, number 2.
Denzel Mims, wide receiver from Baylor. Another big guy, but not as big. 6'3", 207, but a nice 4.38 in the combine. Maybe a second-round pick. Maybe he could stretch into the late of the first round. He lit up the Senior Bowl. I was watching the Senior Bowl drills one-on-one. They were throwing every single press coverage on him, and he was breaking these guys.
He's a little thin. You have to put on a couple of pounds.
He lit up the Senior Bowl, lit up the combine. He had 12 TDs last year. Excellent on the 50-50 balls. I watched a lot of his film. They threw it up there in traffic. He was able to go up and get it. He's one of your rare deep threats and red zone target as well. It's rare to see a guy who could do both. And maybe you can get him in the second round, maybe late first round. I don't like late first round, but
any first rounders?
I mean,
besides the Alabama guys.
Oh, you got C.D. Lamb. You got the Alabama guys.
Right.
I got a couple first rounders who are going to be in the bus list. So
really?
Yes.
All right, let's get to that.
Henry Ruggs III, bust. Only because of ADP, average draft position. Because everyone's gonna fall in love with the combine guy. He ran a 4.27.
Yeah, he lit it up.
Some team's gonna be drunk and take him in the top 10.
Robbie, this should be noted. A lot of your really, really, really fast guys don't pan up. If you look at this, what did they say? I think I heard a stat. There's probably only 3 guys that ran under 4.3 in the Hall of Fame.
You know who comes to mind? John Ross from the Cincinnati Bengals. The same thing happened. He busted out a 4.2 something, got drafted number 9 overall.
Yeah, we're talking about like really fast guys who get picked high, though, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Tyreek Hill,
5th round pick.
He was a 5th round pick, but he also, that was
character issues.
He had major
And he's
character
tiny.
issues.
He's tiny. That's not a guy you go get in the top.
Henry Ruggs, also tiny. I'm glad you brought that up. 5'11", 188. I would qualify him as a shrimp.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
I said, what is his stats? He said shrimp.
Is 5'11" a shrimp?
188. You know. It's definitely no jumbo shrimp.
It's
either.
definitely not a jumbo shrimp. It's more like a coconut.
He says,
Holy crap.
in all of your evaluation, when was the last time you heard somebody say
Never.
he's a shrimp? They didn't even say that about Kyler Murray.
Well,
Maybe they just need Robbie to. He needs to be like. You need like to be a consultant, Robbie.
Oh, no.
And GMs can just have you walk in and like your thoughts, and he goes, and he just like shrimp, and then just walks out the draft room.
just throw a big giant shrimp in the air.
Just a big old. Just throw some cocktail sauce on it, whatever you need. All right, number.
But one last thing on Henry Ruggs. I saw
Sure.
a PFF mock draft that I'm going number 4 to the Giants. That's just completely drunk. Way too high. You have to spend a high pick on him. Pass.
All right. Who was your second bust, Robbie?
T Higgins from Clemson. This is a late first, early second round pick. Now he's 6'4", 216. He said he thinks he's modeled this game after AJ Green. Now he did not work out in the combine, but they asked him about him not working out in the combine. This is courtesy of NFL Network, and here's what he had to say.
We had a long season. I only had like 4 or 5 weeks to prepare for this, and I feel like that's not enough time compared to all these other guys that had like 2 months, a month. I just feel like I need to be more prepared to run the 40 and all the other drills. So.
You know what that sounds
4 or 5
like?
weeks is a month.
4 or 5 weeks is a month.
Yes.
Right.
An excuse maker.
Yeah, he is. That is cranking up the excuse machine. Was he not feeling good, or he just didn't want to do it?
He just didn't want to do it. He wasn't prepared to run the 40. But 7 of his Clemson teammates, equally as long of a season, they worked out in the combine. In fact, LSU had equally of a long season as Clemson. 11 of the 15 LSU players ran the 40.
Hey, how does it work at a pro day? Like, at the pro day for Clemson, does Lawrence get to throw to them?
No, they'll have a quarterback throw to him. It might be him.
I would ask Lawrence to throw to him.
Yeah.
I would make that part of my requirement.
But yeah, you know what? This T Higgins, he's used to winning all the time at Clemson. I believe he's only lost 1 game in the last 2 years. Kind of reminds me of Minka Fitzpatrick. If he gets to the first sign of adversity, I see him quitting.
Yes,
Not unfair.
I will tell you this. When you're used to winning, like guys that went to Alabama or guys that went to Clemson, and then you get in the NFL, keep in mind, you got to choose what school you wanted to go to. You could cherry pick the situation and circumstances.
I tell you who was a gem about that this year, though, who was kind of the anti-Minka, and that was Christian Wilkins. Because we talked to him after the season. That dude was like so pleased just to be in the NFL and doing things.
Right.
I really respected that about him.
I've actually, and I did that
you did the
that
eat off
Steakums thing with him, and he still, like, a lot of the conversations I have with the guys that I talk to is, hey, when did you feel it? Right? Thanksgiving, man. Thanksgiving. Your legs are so tired. Your legs, you just beat. You're not used to playing that much football. And he was like, yeah, man, but, then I started like maybe, December, I got my second win, and I was
then they
pretty
made him
good.
a tight end.
Yeah. I mean,
Got the man.
He just seems like he's having fun. He enjoys it. He's glad to, he doesn't look at it as like, hey, man, I was a first-round pick, and, I got this.
Robbie, any other notes or anybody you wanted to mention but you couldn't fit into the draft room?
This is a loaded potato. Like, I also had Justin Jefferson. He could have easily been a stud, the wide receiver from LSU, but his draft position was a little too high, but not enough to be a bust.
Why isn't he going first round?
He's probably going to go first round. That's why I really like Justin Jefferson.
Let me ask you this: of the first rounders, who do you think is going to be a hit?
I'd say Justin Jefferson probably. Out of all the first round, maybe Denzel Mims gets drafted late in the first round.
What about Judy?
Judy. I mean, I'm not going to call Judy a bust, but I wasn't going to call him a stud either because you're going to have to draft him so high. Okay. Same thing with CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb kind combine. I was Laviska Shenault, another guy, a boomer bust guy, because last year we were talking about Laviska Shenault, the receiver from Colorado, as this top 10 prospect. And this year he kind of had a bad year with injuries.
Just out of curiosity,
Robbie, that's why we don't talk about prospects and who we going to draft before their senior year of football. Remember that conversation?
Just out of curiosity, let's just say there was a certain somebody who likes flash in the draft. I'm not mentioning any names, but just say people who like shiny things in the draft. What are the odds that the Dolphins could do a little twofer, a little Bama twofer, where they get to at 5 and then draft Judy at 18? Will he be there?
He won't be there at 18, and I don't think, even if he was, I don't think the Dolphins will take him because they're loaded at wide receiver.
Damn, that'd be fun though. That's another edition of Robbie's Draft Room. Fantastic job, Robbie.